Lally ho, friends, and welcome to episode 26 of Kupo Quest. Wolfkins, players, you know us all by now, I'm assuming. So let's just get started. So, last time, where we left off was kind of a downer, thanks to our good friend Blake. We were introduced to Balam Garden, which was essentially a secret military base at the bottom of the ocean here in right off the coast of Balam. Basically where Squall, Renoa, and they were kind of leading their resistance against the Empire by producing, icons. So they are creating their own icons here in Balam Garden. They are taking bits and pieces of the power of the crystals that they have obtained over the years, and they are using those to create artificial beings that they hope will rival that of the Empire's actual technology. Some questions were raised, whether or not that was ethical, good, whether they were sentient. What happens after they're done using them? Didn't really get satisfactory answers, necessarily. There was also a soldier, a human, that they noticed that was being cared for by Professor Hojo here, the one that's heading up this research project, that seemed to be an old friend of Squall's, that was injured in a mission recently. You didn't get too many details on that, but what Blake noticed when she kind of examined him is that the threads of his life were shredded, tattered, something that she'd never seen before. So just kind of weird. With that, the group kind of dispersed, and Blake brought the mood way down, talking to Squall right there at the end, just kind of making everything sad. But yeah, so that's
guilt trip whatsoever.
No, I liked it. I liked how the last episode ended. So that's where we left off with I think the goal being, get a little bit of rest and then pursue the water crystal the next day. There was, by the way, a Hojo proposed trying to persuade Leviathan, if you talk to him, once he found out you'd conversed with icons before, to lend some of the water crystal's power to his projects. And again, non-committal answers from the group, but I think we've got enough chaos here to see that it might happen. So let's see what happens. Now, up to you. Do you want to pick up in the morning? Do you want to go ahead and take your long rest and pick up in the morning, or are there things that you'd like to do, any last-minute things the night before?
Also, I just want to say that the soldier thing, it's totally safe. Like, there's literally nothing that could go wrong.
Nothing at all.
Like, it's nothing. Yeah, no, it's nobody sketchy. It's all fine.
Yeah.
There is no boss music. That boss music that you hear in the background,
it's just the ambient music. Yeah. Thanks to Sirenscape.
Hearing him mumbling about how he wants to choke out a blonde twink was not a red flag whatsoever.
That's a green flag
really
for me.
Needs some hugs. He's having a hard time.
Well, right now he's unconscious anyway.
That's alright, Ace. You called it a red flag, but I'm colorblind.
So, was there anything that you wanted to get done the previous night? Anything in particular?
Izzy would like to do some things.
Okay.
He has a miniature library to look at. Or I'm making a lot of assumptions. He's being taken to the library.
Sure, that's true. You did say that last time. So what was it that you wanted to look into? We'll do a roll, see what you learn. Because Renoa was taking you to their library, I believe.
Yeah, at this point, he needs to look into the Mother Crystal. As for the whole staff ordeal in business, knowing Matoya and the really cryptic shit she said about it, he's probably just like, I probably can't look this up in a book.
That seems like Matoya. You can always try.
Oh, shoot. Sorry. I'm using the wrong dice. I'm not using Izzy's dice. That's bad luck.
You need to just use... Everyone just needs to switch to Grunthor's dice.
Right?
But... No, that's not it. Which one? Oh, it's this one, the crystal one. Okay. Yeah, but he is going to do research on the location of the Mother Crystal.
Okay.
Again.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and give me an investigation check for that.
Right. Oh, thank God. I thought I had a 0 in that, but I was looking at intimidation.
Oh. Let's see.
Hey,
25. Okay.
Wow.
So, with a 25, there is... Now, the library that we're talking about here is nowhere near as large as the 2 that you've previously done work in, or 3, really. But there are a couple interesting things that you come across regarding the Mother Crystal. One, again, you've come across various accounts of the Mother Crystal, some questioning whether or not it's even actually a thing. In this particular volume that you found, you do find some... It's an old scholar that was kind of researching the crystals in general. The date goes back about 1,500 years. So it was roughly about 500 years after the creation of the elemental crystals that you're familiar with. Here he does go on to talk about some of the theories he has regarding the Mother Crystal itself. He definitely believes that it is something that is a physical presence, not necessarily a concept or anything like that. He does think there is a physical crystal. He, however, does not mention any location that he is aware of. Now, one thing that he did mention is that he got some very interesting magical readings when he was traveling up north near Ishgard. He doesn't know exactly what that means, but he does know that the energy, the ley lines up there seem to be converging in an interesting pattern. He believed that he might be drawing closer to the location of, if not the Mother Crystal, a crystal of significant power. And that's what you get for 25. Information for once.
The note
Sorry.
crystal of power.
So yeah, that's a good
Sorry,
roll.
y'all saw me opening up my various notebooks.
I saw you hit 25, and I saw the notebook come out, and I was like, I gotta give him something. I was like, he's ready to go.
You saw my data analyst certificate notebook come out that I use for classes,
Nice.
and then you saw my my D&D campaign that I'm running for my friend's notebook come out.
You might need a data analyst for this too. So yeah, that's what you learn. As far as stuff about Matoya, it's the same stuff that you've come across before. They talk, a lot of them talk about how elusive she is. Some of them go on to just call her some not so nice names. Crazy comes out quite a few times. Eccentric comes out a lot. But as far as her staff, it's all the historical records that you've heard of before. At one point, she didn't have it anymore.
Okay.
So.
And there is something he needs to do in his room by himself tonight, but I told you about that, so we can just wait.
Okay. I love the look on Nozak's face.
Anyways.
With that, you all can take your long rest, and we can pick up tomorrow. Unless anybody else, I just saw some head shakes before when I asked, but if anybody else has anything, let me know. Anything else you want to do the night before? Once, twice, night's over. You lost your chance. All right. So yeah, long rest. A nice long rest. The first one I guess you've had in a while without somebody like just at a safe place, really. I mean, because even Mysidia was, a little tense, So yes, we come to the following morning, rather early, actually, as Blake, they've put you up, by the way. They have a bunch of guest rooms in the presidential building. So they've kind of put you up there. Each of you have a different guest room. But Blake, you hear just some very slight scratching on your door. Just enough to kind of bring you out of that sleep. Just a... Pauses for a second. Some more frantic scratching.
And Blake's like, is that in-game or real life? Hang on, let me check.
So, okay. So I I'm extra. I have like 3 monitors, and I have a baby camera focused on one of my bird cages. And I looked over, and the bird cage was like moving back and forth, and I was like, "That's not right." And so I muted to call and it was my dog doing something. So like,
Nice.
we're all good now. It was just like that the cage should not be like rocking back and forth, and it's like parakeets in there, and the parakeets are like, what the heck? Anyways, so there's something scratching at my door. Blake's gonna kind of get up like bleary-eyed and go to the door and be like, if it's one of those damn automatons. I told Nozak that wasn't funny. Kind of like cracks open the door.
As you crack open the door, just very briefly, give me a athletics check with disadvantage because you were not prepared for this.
How do I do it with disadvantage?
Just right click.
Wait, I have. Oh, so it'd just be a straight roll, right?
Yeah. No, you have advantage on athletics to get out of a grapple, but that's not what this is. So this would be with disadvantage. $12. Well, let's see.
Nice.
Yeah, that's better. That's better than I was expecting. Oh, by 1. As you just peek it open just a little bit, you get pushed back as the door, as soon as the latch gives and has just a little bit of room, Angelo pushes the door open, kind of knocking you back. As you stumble back and fall down, he hops on top of you and starts just kind of licking your face. As you're petting him and looking past him, standing behind him in the doorway is an automaton, just kind of standing there like this, kind of looking at you.
That's where I left that thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it Nozak's?
Give me a perception check.
Oh, fuck.
It looks like Nozak's, yeah.
Nozak, are you watching this? She's like trying to sit up past. What kind of dog is Angelo?
Angelo's probably about 50 pounds. I don't remember the exact breed. He's a bigger dog, yeah. Probably bigger than you, yeah.
Yeah, so she's like trying to like sit up and like pet the dog and like look over at the automaton and not just like kind of keep her balance, and it's just like, no, Zach, I told you to stop sending this thing over here.
It kind of just hops in a little bit, just kind of very jerky, not like walking.
Sir. No.
Give me another perception check.
Sir, no. I don't like it. For fuck's sake.
You hear girlish giggling coming from slightly outside the door.
Bunny? Is that the bunny?
What are you doing?
She's like trying to get like push. Okay, like it's like I'm fine. Like let me up, boy or girl. And
as soon as you get to the feet, the thing launches at you. It launches from its door and just comes straight at you. What are you doing?
Do I have any hand magic?
I don't know. What are you doing? This thing is just flies from the door straight. It's coming at your face.
I think she would smack it with the Morning Star.
Give me an attack roll.
Thing she can grab. Words are hard. Okay. That's
all right.
A strength roll?
Yeah, just a straight attack roll from with your Morning Star.
You
I'm sorry. I know this is
roll your weapon.
Yeah, I know this is dumb, but it sounded fun to me, so I'm doing it. 23. I'm not gonna make you roll damage. As this thing's flying towards you, the reaction time, you basically just grab your Morning Star, which you kept like kind of close to where you were sleeping, just in one fluid motion, up and then slam into it, sending it flying against the wall. Let's see.
By the way, Angelo is a German Shepherd Border Collie mix.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
As it hits, the head pops off and rolls back to your feet, kind of stopping right at your feet with its lifeless eyes, just kind of staring up, looking you in the face. As that happens, Renoa comes into the room laughing her ass off. Just says, okay, so Nozak said that would be funny, but holy shit, that was way better. I hope he doesn't get mad that we broke his toy. I'm so sorry. I couldn't resist. I'm so sorry.
Blake is just kind of like... Blake is not awake yet. Like, what happened?
I talked to Nozak a little bit last night, and he said that would be hilarious, and he was right. I apologize. Not very presidential. She just kind of straightens up, but still can't keep the giggles from kind of bursting up.
Oh, I'm glad my hair's already white. Otherwise, it would have gone more.
Well, there, bright side.
Took about 10 years off my life.
Sorry again.
It's okay. What time is it?
It's early, but Squall is wanting to meet with everybody before, he calls it a pre-war debriefing. Very, very serious, but I think he just has some things he wants to talk about before you guys head out.
Okay. All right.
I'll tell Nozak I broke this. If you wouldn't mind, I can get some of them, or if you want to go around and get them, she stops. Is everybody else as creeped out by this thing as you are? Anybody else?
No.
Okay, yeah, you can get them if you want.
I was gonna say, well, can I kind of pick up the head and just try to stick it back on?
Sure. Let's
what
see.
would that be?
Just give me a straight intelligence roll.
Okay. Oh, I'm not very smart. I'm not smart
You can't really figure out what's going on here. It looks broke.
Well, this is the best investment I've ever made.
I was gonna say, can I at least even if it doesn't work, just kind of rest it on there. It's you can wake up Nozak with that thing.
Sure, yeah. It's easy enough to kind of rest it, and you find some loose cloth that you can tie around and just kind of make a nice little thing to keep its head on its neck. It lolls a little bit to the one side, so it makes it look even creepier, because now it's the whole time. But it'll at least make it back to Nozak in one piece.
How much does the head weigh? Yeah, I was gonna say, Blake could just walk by and just chuck it.
5 pounds or so.
Okay. That's probably too heavy to throw at a bunny.
I want to point out, too, just so you know, Psychic as a player didn't actually have anything to do with that, but it was too fun for me to pass up.
I'm going to tell people I did, because that's genius.
So, with that, Renoa takes her leave and takes Angel. She goes, "Come on, boy." And then they leave, and she just, as she's going, she turns around and says, he's looking to see everybody in about 10 minutes. I know. She just kind of rolls her eyes. When he's in these moods, it's best to just kind of roll with it. Otherwise, he gets really, really grumpy. Which, well...
He gets more grumpy?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He'll go on, for days just moping around. God, I love him. Oh, well. She just turns and, kind of... just runs quickly down the hallway. More like a skip. So
I guess...
What are you going to do?
Oh, I guess Blake is just gonna... she's gonna let Renoa wake up Nozak. with the onomaton,
Okay.
and Blake is going to wake up Duchess to wake up Grunthor. And
You.
she's also going to wake up Ava. Oh my god. I totally spaced.
Ava's
whoosh.
like, yes,
She's
forget
going to-
about me. Make that mistake.
Yeah. She's going to wake up Ava to wake up Izzy. Just
Okay.
push all the work. Because Grunthor and Izzy are the ones that's like, I'm going to let somebody else deal with the early morning shenanigans.
Fair enough. Do any of you have any early morning shenanigans, or would not be liking? Because it's early. Like, you just barely got your long rest in. The sun is
Izzy
not
does.
even fully up yet. Izzy. So who was waking you up? Ava? Was that
Ava.
it?
Ava.
Ava has the pleasure of waking Izzy up.
All right. So what are you doing, Ava?
Izzy, it's wartime.
There would be no answer.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm gonna peek in. I'm gonna listen in. Do I hear anything?
Give me a perception check.
Uh,
And then based on that, Izzy, you can say what we do and don't hear. 18.
you hear a lot more outside noise than you should.
All right. I'll give the man some time. I'm gonna go do some stretches.
Perfect.
And Ava kind of stick her head back out, like kind of not yell like really loudly, but loud enough that Ava hears her, and it's just like, Mr. Squall said that he wanted us in about 10 minutes.
Okay. Thank you. We'll be
Have
there.
fun.
Yep.
Is Blake? Did you go to the stables to look for Duchess? Because that's
Oh, I
where I'll
thought she
be.
was. Oh, yeah. I was gonna say, I thought like wherever she was, that was where you were going to be.
I pretty much sleep in the stables if that's where Duchess goes.
Aw.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess I thought it was like Mysidia, like where she was in the room with, but yeah, I guess she would go down to the to the stables to wake up
Yeah.
Duchess and
Not as many
kind of.
Chocobo in Mysidia, just because, they don't need them as much. They just teleport everywhere or just on the clouds. Nozak, you hear kind of a thump next to you, and then some quick feet, and then your door slamming shut. As you just kind of coming to, and next to you, you see your automaton with a little note kind of taped to its chest that said, "Sorry, I broke your toy."
All right. Well, at least they asked the blacksmith to get it all done. All right, let me have a look at you, buddy. How you going?
You can give me an intelligence check. With advantage, because you've poured over this thing.
Yeah. With advantage.
12.
12 with advantage. I rolled a 4 and an 8.
Looking at it, you think it's fixable. You don't think it's that big of a... It looks more like it would be... Not so much pop back on, necessarily, but you could fix it, you think.
Is it just like a minor thing with the...
it's minor. Just
ball bearings and stuff?
Yeah,
I just
it's
gotta
easy
cast
to fix.
mending on it.
I'll do it. Boom. Fixed.
There you
That'll
go,
do it.
mate.
So,
Yeah, I got you sorted. All right.
some time goes... it's been a couple minutes. Now you all have kind of gathered, all but Izzy, who still has not come out of their room. So what are y'all doing?
Where's Izzy? Was someone... Are they on their way? Someone going to go get
Yeah, no,
him?
there's Izzy's in his room.
Oh, so you haven't woken him up yet?
Oh, he's awake.
That's a bit creepy. Okay. I'll go find Dizzy and wake him up.
His door is locked.
Is it? No, I was kidding.
I am going...
Between the four of you, one of you could get in, I'm sure, but it's locked right now.
Oh, yeah. I'm going
have-
to... Can I... Hang on, let me read this first. Go. You do what you want to do, Blake.
I was going to ask if I had, Oh, I don't have lockpicks or anything.
Ava definitely has lockpicks.
Can I use Mage Hand to go through the keyhole and open it from the other side?
I don't. I think you'd need to be able to see where you were. If you can peek through or under the door, give me a really high perception check. We'll talk about it. But you still need to kind of.
You got it.
Yeah, you still need to be able to kind of see what you're doing.
Alright.
Can I guide him?
I can't see. I'm too short.
So yeah, that won't work.
Okay.
You know, I'd play around
Ava.
if you'd been able to hit the 20. If you'd have pulled a Grunther just then, we'd talk. But
If we think Izzy's in trouble and I should break into his room, and we need to save him,
Or you could unlock the door so we don't break the people that we're staying at.
All right, yeah, I could do that. Lockpick.
Mhm.
Izzy, can you
Breaking
hear
it
us?
is more
We're coming
fun.
in.
Thieves' tools,
I'm gonna.
go for it.
Yeah.
Hey,
24.
good shit.
As you get in there, this is a very simple lock. I mean, it's just a bedroom door. It was a very low DC, and you, with Flourish, actually, you get in and you realize how easy it is, and then you start making a show of about how fast you do it. It almost looks for the rest of you like he grabs it and just like opens it. That's how fast this happens. As the door opens, Izzy, what are they seeing in there?
They see that the room is very well cleaned, but the window is open, and Izzy is not in there.
Oh fuck! He got kidnapped.
However, you do see that Al Nubis is kind of preening his feathers, sitting on the windowsill.
All right, he didn't get kidnapped very far.
Grunthor's internet just dropped, so he'll be back soon.
Okay.
Alright. Alnubis. Where is Izzy? Just like fly off in the general direction, I suppose, and we will follow.
Al Nubis flies straight up.
What?
And as he lands,
Swear to God, if this bitch is pulling a grudge on the roof, I fucking...
that's funny. And as he lands next to Izzy, Izzy is on the roof meditating, DM. And I think as he does, he's like, this is a waste of time. I can't believe I thought that this was going to work. No. It's not that I can't do it. It's just I haven't done it before. Try again. Hear, feel, think. Hear, feel, think. And DM, would it be what does he have to do to see if he can hear the whispers he heard when he first casted the spell to take him to with Mysteria?
Okay. So you're trying to kind of rehear some of that things that you heard before. Let's just go ahead and give me a straight D20.
Okay, cool. I'm about to say. Basically, when he unlocked here, he heard voices, so he's trying to hear them again. Then maybe feel will figure itself out.
Okay.
Damn.
It's hard. You feel like maybe you were getting somewhere, but then Alnubis shows up and kind of just immediately kind of pulls you back with a distraction. Just as soon as you started to hear just a whisper, you think it fleets away.
Well,
Unfortunately.
I believe... Sorry. Okay, yeah. We can communicate telepathically. So Al Nubis can tell me my friends are in my room if he wants.
Okay. So you would know that, but are you going back down?
Yeah. You just see he just sighs before he jumps off the roof and floats down in his broom. He floats into the window where he sees everyone. He's like, what are you all doing in my room?
Oh, I thought you got kidnapped.
Why would I be kidnapped?
I don't know. Anything's possible. Why wouldn't you be kidnapped?
I mean,
the
if
most
anyone's more
powerful out
likely
of
to
all
be
of us.
if anyone's more likely to be kidnapped, that is very sweet and thank you. If anyone is most likely to be kidnapped, it's Nozak. He's the enemy of a literal state he was a part of.
It's a strong word, but you're not wrong.
He floats back and he's like, "Are we doing a meeting? I mean,
Oh,
I guess
yeah,
I can bring
it's
out my
wartime.
notes.
Yeah, it's wartime.
wartime.
We have like 3 minutes to get there now.
Get where?
I don't know. Honestly,
I'm assuming the room that we met Squall and Renoa the first time with the long table had the fireplace at the back. He pulled the gun sword.
Oh, DM, is that in another building or is it in this one?
It's in this one.
Okay, cool.
You're essentially this is a very large kind of estate. It has rooms for the offices. It has like a separate wing for that, and then a wing for guests as well. So yes, it's just basically on the other side of the building,
Okay, cool.
the west wing,
All right,
if you will.
we should go. Squall doesn't seem like the type who likes tardiness.
Okay. You all make your way over.
Blake.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
On the way, I'm just gonna. Oh yeah, Blake. I fixed my automaton.
Oh,
I hope you had fun.
I hope it was worth it. Do they have baseball like over the table? Do they have baseball in Fantasia?
That is not a sport. Although
The national sport of Fantasia. Actually.
although you think that
Oh, yeah,
as
yeah.
you're thinking about it, you think it could be fun to do that again in the future.
Yeah.
If you'd like to start planting the
mean-
seeds to invent baseball, I will allow that.
Yeah,
With
it
balls,
it was really nice. Like it was actually a little bit of stress relief. So if you ever need to break it again,
Huh?
I got plenty of stress and a stick.
If I want to have a look on the insides, I'll give you a call.
I did send that thing like right across the room.
I'm very proud of you.
I was too.
Did you find out how much it weighed?
It was heavy. It was too heavy to throw at you.
About 5 pounds. Cool.
That was just the head.
That was just the one thing I
Yeah.
one thing
Well,
did.
I was going to give it. Renoa is much nicer than I am at Oh Dark 30, because I was going to give you it back by throwing the head at you, and she said no, she would send it back, and I decided 5 pounds was probably a little bit too much.
That's okay.
That's a little heavy.
Oh
my God.
Solves a few experiments that I had in my head. So thank you for your help. And I'm just gonna start walking down.
I just realized I have a +10 to history. My God.
Hell yeah!
Our researcher.
Nerd.
That level up really did the damn thing. Sorry.
Wow.
So, a couple minutes. Takes you a couple minutes to walk over there. Eventually, you make it to the room that you remember. When you kind of knock on the door, you just hear kind of a gruff, "Come in." And as you open the door, Squall's kind of sitting behind the desk. He goes, "You're late. Come on in. I know, it's early. I'm sorry."
Like the first.
He's just
decent
like
night's
me
sleep
for
we've
real.
had in a while.
Alrighty. Whoever wants to can give me an insight check.
Hell
Well,
yeah.
don't mind if I do.
That was in the
Good
corner.
job, Izzy. Really showing your true colors here.
So Nozak, 18. Squall looks very tired. Not sure how well he might have slept last night. You can see like his eyes are kind of red. He's got kind of bags under his eyes as well. He's still wearing the same clothes that you saw him in yesterday. And he just looks kind of beat down. Come in, take a seat. I just wanted to meet and talk. I know that you have plans to pursue the crystal. Is that still on the table?
Yep.
Yes, that would be correct.
Okay. Had a couple things I wanted to just go over. Some things I wanted to give you. He kind of points to this small sack that he has kind of off to the side. I've put in some rations there, and also an herb that will allow you to breathe underwater. Where you're going is actually, as the name implies, underwater. So I hope you can all swim. But
You just got to hear us.
so I've provided you that and a little bit of gold for your troubles that you've helped us with so far as well. But what I really wanted to talk about was your plans. What's your plan of attack? What are you doing? What's your goals, and how can we help?
I would prefer to know where the defectors. What are they called again?
Betrayers.
No,
The
betrayers. Thank you.
Yeah, the betrayers, the fiends. That's the names.
I would like to start by knowing where the betrayer is, but I'm assuming that all the boats going missing have to do with that.
Possibly.
Probably.
Probably.
Unless Leviathan is the water icon, right?
Right.
Yeah. Unless Leviathan is killing people from inside of his crystal, which seems unlikely.
I don't think that's the case. Sorry. Go ahead, Ava.
I have a good feeling once I get close to the crystal, the betrayer will come to us.
Oh, I never thought about that. Ava, are you okay taking on, if necessary, are you okay taking on multiple blessings?
I think I signed myself up for that.
Obviously, as a last resort. It seems that these fine people here have at least a backup if any of the icons, if anything happens to them.
Hopefully.
I mean,
that's the plan.
If push comes to shoves, elements is kind of what I do.
All right.
I control the water, I control the ground, I control the fire.
Just don't take it on if you don't want to. There are plenty of us here who would not mind if it came to it.
Give a nod.
If possible, I'd ask that the crystal remain functional after your visit.
Yeah. That goes without saying.
And I'm not familiar with all the details, but if what you're talking about has anything to do with the wind no longer being around, please exercise all caution before taking a similar approach.
Unfortunately, last time was an extreme circumstance. It would not have happened if what happened hadn't.
That's fair. I'm just saying, we rely on it quite heavily. We rely on the blessings of Leviathan daily.
We just wish to talk to him. Maybe get some insight on the Mother Crystal and everything that's going on.
Very well. I can give you some insight on the layout, at least, of the temple itself. The top floor, that is completely above water. And up until very recently, we used it for religious ceremonies. Holidays, we would gather there. So it's a church, for lack of a better word. Recently, however, as you know, ships have been missing. We've been seeing more and more attacks from sea creatures, or whatever that thing was on the dock the other day. And it's just not been feasible to make the trip. However, the lower floors are, for the most part, completely submerged. That's what the herb is that I gave you for. I do have to warn you, there's just enough for the 6 of you. The chocobo will need a double dose, so just because of its size. But it lasts 8 hours, which should be more than enough time to get down and back, but with what I have, you're only going to have one shot at this.
Yeah.
All right. Grunthor, are you okay with Duchess coming with us, or would you prefer she stays?
Well, I would prefer her to stay with me, so I don't like to leave her with strangers if possible.
That makes sense. Luckily, because Al-Nubis is more of a face spirit, he doesn't really need to breathe, so everything will be good
fine.
enough for all of us.
So you have enough...
How hard is it to get...
Sorry, go ahead.
How hard is it to get this herb?
Well, we had quite the stock, honestly, but the recent assault on the city, and specifically on the dock, took out one of the boats that was delivering it. So now most of it lies at the bottom of the sea. We have teams that are trying to recover what we had, and most of it is, again, mined. It's an underwater herb that we harvest. It's just our stores have been depleted. Actually kind of think that might have been intentional.
If we could get the herbs up, are they ruined?
No.
Or
No, they should be fine. They're an underwater herb anyway. I mean, they last pretty well once you've actually harvested them. With them being harvested and back in the ocean, never really had to deal with this, but they should be fine. Might not last as long in storage, but... Sorry, what was that?
Do you know where the... Sorry.
I was just going to say, we do have pressing matters, but if we've still got time in the end, or if we, are going to spend a little bit more time here in Balam, we can focus on that after. Because I think you're on the right track. I think we should probably look into that as well.
Because Ava, you can control water, right?
To a certain extent, yes. I can't control an entire sea, but
how deep
dive
is
underwater and swim pretty well.
How deep is the area where the ship went down? Like, is it in the harbor?
It was actually attacked coming into the harbor, so a little bit offshore, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
Could be anywhere over there.
Deep wise, it's probably scattered around Garden, to be honest, or a little bit further out even.
Speaking,
we do have enough for one trip, but if you're thinking you'd take longer than an 8 hours in the temple, then
I was thinking of the chocobo and just
Well, with what we have now, there's enough for the 5 of you and the chocobo for 8 hours. If you left the chocobo, you'd have a little left over. You could extend each of your time by dividing up what was left of the herb, or 1 8-hour jaunt through the temple.
Speaking of things we need to do after the temple, Queen Sarah, we need to decide now whether we're going to take her to the kingdom next to Alexandria, which is I might be wrong. Let me look at the map. I should have looked at the map before I started talking. Thank you. Okay, so I was right. Which is Fey March, or we could have her be brought here.
Queen Sarah is always welcome here. As long as her bastard father is not in the picture, we have no qualms with Cornelia. We had qualms with... Well, actually, we didn't really have qualms with Conrad. He's the one that cut off trade. He stopped bartering. He stopped paying for shipments. Stopped sending things in return. He just completely cut us out. If Queen Sarah is willing to reopen negotiations for trade, we have no qualms. Cornelia was an ally for generations until they weren't.
Well, I'm not sure about that because that would be the Queen's decision. But if you guys would be willing to harbor her if we decide to bring her here, that would be incredibly helpful.
Absolutely. We have no problem with that.
But none of us are her guard right now.
Not at this present time, but we do have people with her, though.
So, Grunthor, what would you think is the best course of action?
I would guess that Queen Sarah would want Cornelia saved, so the water crystal is necessary. We need to figure out a way to stop it, which in turn will help Balam. However, I don't like the idea of her traveling through Empire territory to get to us. If there was a way to send me there to escort her to provide some safety, that would be best. But I think you would need me here So perhaps we should do this as quickly as possible and then find some way to get to Alexandria or send me to Alexandria.
Well, I think urgency with the crystal is warranted. What we saw yesterday was an attack on our city by quite a tremendous force. Now might be your best opportunity before whatever's out there has a chance to regroup. But I am here to help your endeavor, whatever you think is best.
These are the
How do we
times where
take-
Oh, go ahead.
How do we take the herb? Do we just ingest it?
Yes, it's just chew it up, swallow it. You should feel the
Gilly
effects
weed.
within minutes, essentially. Yeah.
what I was trying to say with the herb, and because over a table I need to run an errand, so I'm just gonna say this really quick.
Okay.
What I was gonna say was I have control water, so I can make a trench to get to where the ship is. And Ava, we could probably between the two of us, like,
You can attempt it.
Yeah.
We're talking a lot of water. If you think you can, go for it. But at this point, they're probably at the
know.
bottom
I
of
never-
the sea.
I never
Okay.
done anything like it. Just
I
think
have an
now we
idea
should focus on
for
crystal.
exactly. I have an idea for how we can all do these things we want to, but we should talk about it on our way to the crystal, so we don't take up any more of the president's time.
Very well. I'm working on, and actually, it's probably done by now. I'm working on getting you transportation to the crystal. Unfortunately, due to the lack of power we've been able to receive from the crystals, what was a rather quick journey will likely be overnight by boat. With no wind, harnessing the wind crystal's limited abilities, but still, you're probably only looking at one overnight to get to the temple. But we will provide
Lord-
transportation, and I have that arranged for you already.
Lord
Maybe I'm
Squall,
gonna fix that problem later.
will the herb allow us to speak underwater or
You should have
just
no.
breathe?
You should have. That is a good question. It will allow you to be able to speak. However, you won't be able to communicate at the same distance as you're used to. If you have magical means of communicating, that would be preferred. But you would be able to speak in very close quarters. But more than 10, 15 feet away from one another, it might be hard to actually understand what you're saying, is what we've noticed.
could we cast spells that use speech?
Yes, you shouldn't have any issues with that.
Cool.
It will be a very...
I think
It will be a very interesting experience if you've never done it before. Your mind will reject the idea of breathing or speaking underwater. But from what I've found, you become accustomed to it rather quickly once the panic subsides.
all right.
All right.
I think we should make way as soon as possible. And as you said, Izzy, we should probably plan either along the way, as with it. We've got overnight. We've got plenty of time to go through ideas. I do like the idea, Blake, of you finding a way to get the herbs, because if we can get more of that, then that'll make it easier for these guys to check in on things, make sure things are okay, and then go from there. I do have an idea, but I'll talk to you, Izzy, when we're on the boat about something as well. Is there anything else that anyone needs to do? Okay.
All right. We
Mr.
need
President.
our boat.
All right, he kind of stands up. Follow me. And you see that he goes to the door. You notice that his blade is back above where it was on the mantle, and he does not grab it as he leaves this time. But he just leaves and just starts walking. He says, "Follow me," and doesn't wait.
I'm bringing along the automaton because y'all don't need to breathe either.
Sure.
I also have some ideas now with this. I've got some ideas.
Yeah.
Give the automaton a gun. Easy.
As we're walking past the Squall's blade, by the way, blade gun, whatever it is,
Blade.
I'm going to be like really studying it, kind of.
Give me.
Oh no!
Go ahead and give me.
Oh no!
Give me an investigation check. Let's do perception. Unless you're going to stay back and actually try to pick it up and look it over. Do me a perception check.
If we're thinking along the same lines, I'm not gonna lie. I also thought about that.
It's interesting. You'd really need to kind of inspect it to get to know exactly how it works. But as you're kind of looking through it, it does look like it has some kind of... It has a weird handle that instead of being straight like you would expect, it kind of bends down. You've seen things like this on Imperial weaponry before, that you've encountered some in the Empire even. But it looks like it has some kind of trigger as well. You don't actually see a place where any kind of projectile would come out of it, though. So exactly what's going on, it's a little confusing. You need to take it down and actually examine it a little bit more. And if you want a picture, you can Google Gunblade. That is what it's called. You should get lots of hits on that. All from Final Fantasy 8 or 14. So.
I'm already looking at it right now.
All lightnings from 13.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. Look at that.
Bruh. I am a walking encyclopedia for Final Fantasy.
So you're all following Squall at various paces. I know
Yeah.
Grunther's going to hang out just a second, but...
Yeah.
Okay. So, as Squall kind of starts walking away, you expect him to head back towards the docks where you had where you had encountered the creature previously, but he actually starts heading off in a different direction, off towards more like the western part of the city. Eventually, he comes up to what looks more like a private dock. You'll see that it's actually got some guards and gates that are not allowing most people to come through. As he goes up, he speaks really quickly to the guard.
Are you able to just serve a mute? Like,
Yeah, give me just a second. I think I can.
but just, yeah. Just
Yep.
right click on there.
Just
serve a
remind
mute.
me to undo that when they get back. But there's kind of like like walled off. Squall speaks very quickly to one of the guards, and they let all of you through. As you kind of come through, he hesitates for a second. He goes, just wanted to let you know, I'm going to introduce you to our chief engineer here. You'll see. As he just continues to walk, kind of off towards...
Just gonna open up Google.
Closer and closer toward the pier. Eventually, you come up to what looks like it's a larger boat. You don't see any sails or anything like that, any actual means of how it travels through the water. You don't see any oars, anything of that nature at all. But the boat looks more than big enough for you, probably too big for the little group that you have here. Squall kind of walks up. He goes, hey. And then you just hear kind of off in from the bows of the boat somewhere, fucker, son of a bitch. And then Squall kind of turns back around. He's very colorful, as you may have noticed. Sid, I've got someone to meet you here. And then you just hear some tinkering. Son of a motherfucker, piece of shit. And you just hear things like clanging and breaking. And then Squall just kind of, Sid. With that, you see two long ears pop up over the side of the ship. They look like rabbit ears, kind of poking around. And then you see these tiny paws kind of pull up and grab the side and yank itself up. Nozak, for the first time in your life, you see another Loporrit pulling itself up onto the side of this ship. What the Oh, it's you. Sorry about that. He kind of dusts. He's got, like, grease stains, and his hair's all kind of a mess. He is a Loporrit. He's kind of a tan kind of a Loporrit, so his skin's more of that kind of, I want to say brown, but what do they call it when it's like a dog? It's not brown. Whatever. It's kind of like a dirty blonde, I guess. But yes, he is the other Loporrit here. As you see him kind of dusting himself off. I've almost got your fucking ship ready. Kind of hops down, starts walking up the plank. So and he stops, Nozak, and kind of looks at you. Just kind of looks you up and down. What are you doing?
So, if all of them live a very long time, and I haven't seen another one in 900 years, this is going to be a real high DC. Can I roll a history check to see if I recognize them? Because obviously I'm not going to recognize their Fantasian name. I might recognize their Loporrit name.
You can roll me a history check, for sure.
Yay!
Guessing way.
You know what's funny? I was thinking engineering way. 15.
You absolutely have heard their Fantasian name. Sid was the Emperor's personal engineer. They actually had a very elusive kind of air about them because no one had ever seen them before. Knowing what you're seeing now, you're kind of putting together that you and him have been in the Empire at the same time for quite a while. The first mentions of Sid that you had heard were probably 30 years ago or so, but no one ever saw him. He was more of a enigma, a whisper, almost a legend that most people didn't believe existed. But he was credited with the actual creation of the airships themselves in the Empire. He was the one who figured out how to utilize the wind crystal in order to power the airships to not be so reliant on the power of the wind itself. And then you do know about somewhere between 5 to 10 years ago, it's hard for you to remember the exact timeline, he defected from the Empire. No one knows why, and no one knows. It's just a rumor that kind of started sweeping through that the Empire had lost their chief engineer.
You're Sid.
He kind of looks at you, looks at Squall. You know he's Empire, right? Got a fucking spy here. Squall
I haven't
kind
been a
of.
part of them since they tried to kill me. There is
He's
a long
gonna-
story.
He's gonna insight check you. Give me a persuasion roll.
Actually, roll deception because you're lying.
Yeah, persuasion or deception, you can choose.
Persuasion's higher. Oh, look at that! It's a 22.
His eye, his eyebrow, little tiny eyebrow kind of pops up. You'll notice he's actually just a little shorter than you even. He is just a little bit shorter than you. His ears come just like a little bit taller than yours, though. So he's shorter, but his ears are longer. So he does end up being just a hair, pun intended, H-A-R-E, taller.
Fucking Christ,
this-
I'm leaving.
Is this the kitty?
This is their chief engineer that's working on the ship for you, and it is the other Loporrit that Nozak has been searching
The other
for.
rabbit.
So the other bunny rabbit.
Mud.
Izzy is going to walk forward and get down, like crouch down, still on his feet. And he holds out a hand. He just says, "It's nice to meet you, Mr. Sid."
Spits in his hand, reaches out and shakes yours. You as
That
well.
was entirely unsanitary. This is my friend, Nozak.
I know
from
Nozak. Made a big show of himself back in the Empire.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Yeah.
I've been around long
Then
enough.
then these are my friends Grunthor, Ava, and Blake, and I'm assuming your best friend Nozak.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a word.
No, I always took Nozak to be a true fucking patriot.
Then wonderful.
Bill's got
Then we
paid.
shouldn't have anything to worry about.
I didn't mean that as a compliment.
No, never is from you.
I apologize. I thought that's how friends spoke to each other.
No. Lovely to be able to put a face to the name. But unfortunately, since you decided to leave, which now I get it, I totally do. Noctis is a cunt, but not much else we can do about that
Finally
one.
figured that one out, huh?
Yeah, look, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little embarrassed. I do regret a lot of the 900 years that I spent, but some of the other ones before him were quite nice. And then he took over. Well, we have done a lot, and I'm sure that we could have a chat. There is a lot going on right now, but long story short, Noctis finally took over. I know you were warning people of that beforehand before you left and dipped, so he did take over. He killed his dad. The Empress is somewhere. Firian's still alive. He fucked off about 3 months ago. He's married to Queen Sarah now.
Shit.
Yeah, someone liked him on purpose. Weird, I know.
It gives you kind of a very strange look at that.
Yeah. Long story short, Noctis is in charge and is kind of slowly but surely taking over the world. And
Nah, not if we have anything to fucking say about it. At that, Squall goes, "Could you please just with the language?" And he goes, "Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I forgot about your fucking delicate sensibilities." Anyway, I hear you all need a silly boat. That didn't really work, did it? Heard you need a fucking boat.
Silly at all.
And then
There we go.
Squall just kind of goes, "Oh God." Yes, they need passage out to the Wind Crystal. We've already discussed this. Is it ready to go? Is it ready to go? Did you ask me to have a boat ready to go? You asked me to have a boat ready to go? It's ready to fucking go. Of course.
Oh, are you going to be driving the ship?
Hell no.
Oh,
You think I'm going out there? I don't get to be as old as me running into danger like that. I design things, I build the things, I send all you dumbasses out to do the dirty work.
Okay, first of all, fuck you for that comment. Well, I mean, let's be honest. If there was anybody that was going to be able to take over a boat made by you, I am the next best choice.
Yeah, no, I was thinking this guy ought to captain the ship. Points over to Grunthor.
Yes, you're going to let him handle the delicacies of elaborate design. That sounds like a great idea. Anyway.
Oh,
glad
I'm
you
sorry.
decided
I
to
don't
leave,
design
so we
my
have to deal with
stuff
your
all
enemies.
delicate and easily broken. Do you do that?
Oh, damn. Maybe that's why I was in the same job for 900 years. But yeah, I'm
the
sure
same
you're right.
the same
You had a
job
great
for
idea.
900 years, no promotion, huh? Yeah, sounds like you're doing great.
Yeah, didn't need to. I was already in the pockets of everybody else. I didn't need to leave
Is
to
this
understand
what
that.
a healthy sibling relationship looks like?
That Squall goes, "Can you knock it off? We have more important things to do than your petty squabbling." Sid,
It's
is the
crystal.
boat
It's different
ready to
situation.
the boat's ready to go? Yes, I said the boat was ready to go. The boat's ready to go. Now look, I don't know if he told you. This thing ain't... Hey, hold on a second. He kind of reaches behind, kind of stops mid-sentence, and he gets out what looks like... you've probably seen cigarettes before. And then you see just a little bit of flame kind of come out of some kind of contraption that he has as he lights one. Sorry about that. It's been like 2 minutes. Anyway, we're having some problem here with the actual wind crystal. So it's not going to go as fast as it should, but it'll get you there. It'll get you there in a day or so.
Damn. Nozak under his breath is going to be like, Chief Engineer hasn't thought of steam power. Wow.
Alright. So, that said, is there anything else we should know about the ship?
I'd like it back, one piece, if possible. Yeah, you don't have to raise your fucking hand. What do you got?
I don't know how to pilot a ship. You wanted me to captain it.
Okay, it's got a big old wheel. You turn it a little bit, and it'll start steering the ship in the way you want it to go. Anybody else been on a boat before? Anybody?
I've been on an
On the
airship
boat?
before.
Yes. Pilot of the boat? No.
Like I said to you, I am the next best choice. Take it or leave it.
So does it have like reins that we whip, like if we're riding a carriage?
Nope.
Does it have a mast where we have to tether it and
Nope.
raise the sails? And that's impressive.
None of that.
We just steer it, huh?
Just steer it.
So above board, I'm just realizing none of us know how to fucking work it.
Yeah, we're not sailors. This is great. Nozak,
Yeah,
No
we
way.
might want to just have
Engineering.
we might just want to throw the engineer up there.
Squall kind of chimes in. Can you
Yeah,
stop
let's
beating
start
around the
our
bush and
at
just
it.
tell them how to actually make the ship go?
It's a ship. You steer it. It basically does it all itself. It's not rocket science.
All right, I vote Nozak to be our captain.
I also vote Nozak to be our captain.
All right. Pick your own damn captain. I don't care.
All right.
Fair
Fair
enough.
Cool.
Okay, can we go now? 900 years on this planet, haven't seen another lopper, and this is the fucker I go. That'd be right, wouldn't it?
Wait a minute. You've not seen another one?
No, 900 years. Not since I left the burrows.
You've been here 900 years. You ain't
Yep.
never seen another loperet.
Nope.
Shit, they must really hate you.
You have no fucking idea how much I despise these people right now. Not these guys, these are my friends, but Empire, you know what I mean. I'm learning a lot, and it is a lot
I
to
meant
take
the other
in.
loperets must really hate you.
I didn't even know there were any.
Oh shit! Do you guys have like a secret society?
Wouldn't be a secret if I
Dave
told you
got
that now,
really
would it?
excited about the.
Oh, that's a good point.
I mean, I know why I didn't reach out to you.
Yeah,
I thought you were a
'cause you're
little.
a cunt, we know.
No, I thought you were a little too close to the Empire, the Emperor himself. Thought it best to stay away from that. But really,
Actually, you know
not another one, huh?
I'll give you that. I was quite close with them. They were nice. These ones were nice. I'll let you have that one, actually.
You know, I will
About
say
that.
the one that just died, he wasn't too bad.
Yeah, he
He's
was
dead
one
now,
that kind
so.
of helped a lot more. Yeah, no, he cocked it. Anyway, look, I'm learning a lot. I'm sure we will be having a chance when I get back, and yeah, I have a lot to get through. So
This has
Thank
been
you.
very eye-opening for everyone.
Seems like you got a lot you don't know about, too.
But we're a bit off schedule, so I believe it's best that we head on to the ship.
Sure. All right, follow me. I'll show you how it works. Kind of just starts walking.
As we're
Yeah,
as
go
we're
ahead.
walking, I'm gonna sidle up to Ava. I was like, I think they should do daggers.
Oh yeah. I have two of them.
your
Just
daggers
inciting
are
a
swords.
knife fight.
Grunthor, give
Dagger,
me
that's a long sword.
give me a d20 roll. Cool.
El Cinco.
As you all go up towards the boat, thank you for that, by the way. Sid kind of brings you onto the ship, and he just starts kind of running around. It's a large ship, like I said, but he takes the group of you, squalls come with you, over to this large wheel that's just kind of more in the middle of the ship. Has handles on it. You all know what like a ship's wheel looks like. He starts to talk, and he goes, okay, look, this is really, really simple, okay? We've designed into space pure on just water crystal power, so that's what helps propel the boat along. You just got to steer it with this, and then he kind of glances over, and there's like two little buttons or something, kind of like inlaid into like this little console. This one means stop. This one means go. It's really simple. This taps into the mechanics. You don't fucking care. This one makes it go. Please, God,
Seems
someone besides this guy drive. Kind of points over to Nozak.
I will give it a try.
Look, you can... He kind of turns back to you. tell me what you want. I don't trust you. I don't. You're too close to the Empire. You've been too close to the Empire for too long.
Yeah, fair.
Can Blake go over to the like controls and see how tall? And like it's just like her eyes like peering over.
Well, you'll notice that there is a rather tall box that's been placed under it because likely the bunny himself has been using it or tinkering around. So up on that, it's fine. But otherwise, yeah, you don't even kind of come above to where you could see like above the wheel. Grunther has no issue, of course. Grunther and Ava, they're fine.
Is Grunther like on his knees to like hit it?
No, it's not that. It's not that low. No, it was more that they had built up like just a little some old crates or something they had stacked so that they could. And actually, when he's giving you the instructions, he kind of hops up because they can hop quite a decent distance onto it, and then kind of hops back down. So for you to get up there, it's more of a clamber.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hello.
I don't know if anyone heard that Grunther said, "I'll give it a try."
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Sid. This all looks very well made.
Of course, it's well fucking made. I made it.
It's gonna be well made. It's better than anything I've created. I at least don't have too much of a pride to admit that anything made by Sid is renowned in the Empire. This shit is not breaking scratches, nothing for a long time.
So if you don't bring it back, something real bad happened.
Okay, that's great.
All right. At least we know that the ship will be safe if anything happens.
He says, all right, well, I'm going to get off before you fuckers forget I'm on here and take off with me. But he kind of stops, and he notices something on your palm, Ava. What you got there?
Man, I really need to start using my gloves properly.
I do keep forgetting you have gloves, but...
Well, no, to be fair, I keep them invisible.
That's right. That is right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I need to actually start using them like gloves.
Why do you have
Blessing
gloves that
from
turn
the wind
invisible?
Because they're gloves of thievery.
Oh.
That's an actual fucking mark of Garuda. Again, Squall goes, language, Sid. God. He just kind of rolls his eyes.
Squall is so tired.
Squall looks dead on his feet right now. That blessing came from the icon herself.
Yeah, it sure did.
Pulls out another cigarette and lights it, and he just kind of stares at you.
Just for funsies, I'll cast the gust cantrip into the air, into the room.
Question. Actually, I'm going to just do it anyway because I think it'll be more funny. He goes to light the cigarette, and you cast the gust, and it just blows it out. Huh. Don't die. Come and see me when you get back.
He's gonna make you a pair of gauntlets.
Don't
I'm
die.
interested.
You should be.
No promises.
Oh my god.
Come see me.
You should give Ava Iron Man gauntlets.
Shit, I should give Ava Iron Man gauntlets.
Yo. Okay.
That would be
Not
awesome.
opposed.
All right, well, I'm out. This shithead's had me working on this all night. Squall just goes, Sid, just... Oh, God.
Can Blake reach over and cast calm emotions on Squall?
Go for it. Is that a saving throw?
I
can't remember.
Is that like hit DC?
Yeah, is it like a wisdom?
I think he has to beat. Yeah, I think he has to like beat 15 charisma, or it's a charisma.
Okay.
Saving throw 15.
He's rolling with disadvantage because he does have 1 point of exhaustion. He fails. As you do that, you see him just, Sid, thanks. I was a shithead, sorry, but did a fucking good job here. He kind of stops himself for a second. Huh.
Yeah, it's like Blake's just standing next to him and she just kind of like pats his leg, like
That was weird.
it's okay.
All right.
I feel better.
Oh, love it too.
I feel... Huh.
We should head out.
This is what
and
happiness
Squall,
feels like.
Squall, make sure you get some sleep at some point, please.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Okay. Kind of looks a little loopy as he starts walking back towards the gangplank to get off.
I think we should make sure that he doesn't fall in the ocean.
You'll be fine.
Be careful.
Oh my god, Blake just roofied Squall.
Exhausted, and then catnip. I mean,
No, I was looking at my spells and I was like, it'd be really funny to do Spare the Undying, but I don't think it would help.
Spare the dying.
I thought the same thing when he said he was near death. I was like,
At this
I was like,
point,
if I do,
go ahead.
if I do resistance, like resistance against tired, and then I remembered I had calm emotions. So
That's your go-to spell. It is
It really
officially
is.
it's officially your signature spell, I think. With that, he leaves, and he kind of goes off, and Sid's still on there, and he's just still kind of staring at you, Ava, while he's finishing up his cigarette. He just flicks it into the water. This is gonna be really fucking epic. So he just turns around, and from where he's at, he hops off of the boat onto the pier, and then just pushes the gangplank back up onto the boat. Safe travels. Remember, it's really difficult. One button goes, the other button stops.
That's 2 whole buttons.
It's a lot. You'll
Are there
figure
any
it out.
markings on the buttons?
Or
coloration?
No.
Like, is it green for go?
Oh, shit.
No. You get the feeling this ship wasn't complete. Like, you feel like he was trying to get it seaworthy based on the urgency. So it's functional, but there's some fine touches like that. The details are not there. The ship itself is rather plain. So
Oh my
no.
god, we got a prototype.
Basically, you got a prototype.
You know what I'm going to do? Oh.
Sorry, real quick. It's funny. Rabbits can. I was gonna say canonically, like a dumbass. Rabbits cannot cannot tell the difference between green and blue.
Interesting.
That's why when you said the red flag, I said, yeah, but I'm colorblind. That was a little joke there.
Can I reach into the pack and, my pack of herbs and stuff that I feed to Duchess, like the flowers? And I'm going to grab them and I'm going to try and make them into a paste with, some of my spit or water if we have some, and try and make a dye to put on the buttons.
Yeah, that's easy enough to do. While you're doing that, Duchess kind of starts gives you this kind of just what? That's mine. As you kind of grind it up, and yeah, so you definitely can. At least most of the stuff you feed her is green, so you could do one, and then leave the other one plain.
Okay.
But
as I'm doing that, I'll toss her, a snack.
Okay. She just catches it in the air and just one quick,
All right.
one quick one swallows.
Grunthor, do you want to take the wheel?
I will try. I do have a little experience with land vehicles, so this will be interesting.
Okay. As you've painted the green button, you push it. At first, nothing actually, it doesn't really feel like anything happened. You don't hear anything different. Nothing really moves at all, except for after just a couple seconds, the boat starts to slowly move forward. It's almost like when you turn on a hybrid or like a fully electric and you're like, is the car on or not? It doesn't make a noise, but it also it doesn't lurch either, as it just slowly starts pulling away and then starts accelerating until it gets to a steady speed and kind of holds there. It's a fast-moving boat for what they've said. As far, it's not as fast as it should be. It's actually moving about as fast as you would expect, like in today's like a one of those little motorboats or something. So you're actually moving really quicker than you were expecting based on what they said. And with that, I actually do have, since you've pulled out,
Start turning the wheel and trying to head towards where we are supposed to go.
Okay.
Oh shit!
It is easy enough to.
Don't like that.
It's easy enough to see where you're going. Off in the distance, you can see this temple kind of rising up out of the water. It's not. There's no ifs, ands, or buts which direction. You see in front of you just ocean, and one just spire rising up. So you aim yourself in that direction and head on. So,
while we're like not there yet, I am gonna push the other button to see like is there a huge stopping distance? Or
Okay.
Does it like?
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
as you push that, it starts to just kind of slowly decelerate. It does have a little bit of a stopping distance to it. Again, this is one of those things you probably guessed hasn't been 100% fine-tuned, but it does take probably a good 15 seconds until it slowly just kind of stops, and then you're bouncing on at the discretion of the waves.
Okay, well, push the green button and head on.
Also, I wanted to make the joke earlier when you said you're going to use like spit or if we have any water. We are on an ocean.
Yeah, but I don't know how far. Like I just wanted to get. I'm
We
on the
have two
dock, and
people
I'm like,
that can control water, and we are on an ocean.
I just imagine Izzy's like, why is everybody spinning in their hand today?
oh
It's
god,
like,
does.
ill.
So how many? Since Fishy Bugs brought it up, I'm gonna. How many of us need to roll seasickness?
Oh no, that was me.
I would say, let's see. If you think your character would, let's go for it. I'll leave that up to the discretion of you and your characters. I feel like Ava, he's got the teleportation thing, but I don't know if that necessarily would translate to like seasickness. That's up to you.
Yeah, I feel like
has traveled on a boat before,
Yeah.
but not piloted one.
Right. I think Grunther would be fine.
I feel like nausea is a thing that what's his name? Izzy. That's my character's name. Izzy doesn't get often because he was born and raised with thin air all around him all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So while I think this is a new experience, I don't think he would get nausea.
I think Blake would, because I think any boats or anything that she would have been on were like on not ocean water, like not like that kind of tide.
Sure.
I'm also wondering with Nozak, because like Nozak's worked on land vehicles, he's ridden the mechs, he's been on like the airships, he's done all this stuff. So like he's been on different things with different stuff, but as Blake, like he's not been on water.
Her turbulence.
Yeah, well, Blake for
Yeah.
sure, because Blake being kind of living in the forest, and this is, first of all, this is the most water you've ever seen. So Blake, you definitely, don't feel bad enough. You got an 11, right?
Yeah.
You're not like losing your lunch or anything. You're definitely very aware of the motion of the ocean, right? You're very aware. Boy. You're very aware of just how unsteady your feet feel underneath you. But so far,
And
you're okay.
I feel like she would be kind of like fascinated because the ocean is like so big and that's just like kind of an incredible thing, but also like a little bit I might puke in front of all my friends, and that's a little bit embarrassing. And also, like, we're going down to. I don't think she realized what she was asking. Like, she was like, but I think she was just like thinking, like, oh, it's like a lake, like that's no big deal.
Mhm.
And I don't think she realized like the full depth of.
Pun intended. Hey! Was that a pun? That was a pun. All right, inspiration. Inspiration for the pun.
Yay!
Well done.
Don't forget, inspiration for puns, because I love them.
That wasn't even on purpose.
That's the best kind.
I don't think that she realized like what she was like saying. Like, oh yeah, me and Ava can do that, and like kind of like what they would be fighting or like what they would be working with. So it's just like a whole bunch of feelings, and all of them are just kind of. It's just like, I don't know. This is yet another thing that I am learning about, and I don't know how to process it because it is way bigger than anything else that I've ever experienced.
Love the background noise.
It's good, isn't it? Yeah, when I found this one, I was like, perfect.
I think if you'll let me, I'll roll with advantage because I'm used to land, I'm used to air. The only thing I'm not used to is water, but I'm used to vehicles.
Yeah, I'll give you an advantage.
So I still think I should roll, but we'll see what happens.
Hope with
Did you
advantage.
say you had a fear of water, or you just can't swim?
I can't swim, so I don't have a fear of water in game, outside the game. Fuck
This
that.
is gonna be rough.
I can't swim, but I rolled a 12.
12.
Anyway, so
You-
I think maybe it's just not used to the movement.
Yeah, you're in the same boat as Blake that I just described.
Unintended.
What? Hey! I can't give myself inspiration. Man,
Thank
it's just
God.
going to be nautical puns for the next 2 episodes or however long we're doing whatever we're doing. But there is a moment that you have when you're staring at this expansive ocean, when you see the looming tower, and while you're not so much seasick, there is a slight impending dread that's coming over you with what's coming.
That's fair.
Because you can't swim, and you do know that you're about to do something underwater for an extended period of time. So, with a 12, you do have a little bit of those kind of thoughts creeping in.
Yeah, very fair. I think that works well.
So, with this, is there any conversations you need to have? Or would you just be selling throughout the day? It will take, basically, with the rate that you're going, it will probably get there sometime tomorrow. So you're looking at least one night out on the open seas. What are y'all doing?
Just messing around. I'm going to see if pushing the green button again speeds it up.
Once you do, you feel it lurch forward a little bit faster, but then slow back down to its original pace. You get the feeling that for the first 2 or 3 times it does that, and then it ceases to have any kind of effect. It does seem like that is a functionality that was intended, but as you're kind of remembering him saying that they were working with limited crystal power. But yeah, it lurches forward. You probably shaved off a couple minutes, maybe, but nothing substantial. Yeah,
We're gonna get there at 6:28. Let's go.
yeah. It's like when your GPS drops a minute down, you're like, yeah, I'm running ahead of schedule today.
Hey, Ava,
Yeah.
would you be able to use any abilities that, with your water bending, to increase our speed?
I thought about that with the wind as well.
I could, but if we get into a fight, I'll be significantly less useful.
Well, if it's going to take us the better part of a day to get there, you would maybe be able to rest? Get some rest in between?
Fair.
Since you only need 4 hours.
Let's see. Moving 30 feet of water help us speed up any faster?
Maybe.
Alright, fuck it, I'll give it a shot. I got 5 points to spend.
So what are you doing with it then? What exactly are you trying to do?
I will just go towards the bow of the ship, and I will assist in the breaking of the water that it
Okay.
breaks, so there's less resistance to hopefully let it go through faster.
Give me what's your like spellcasting modifier? Is that wisdom?
Wisdom,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, you can just give me a wisdom check with your proficiency bonus. So D20 wisdom proficiency.
Okay. Wisdom and proficiency. Okay.
Is it wisdom saving throw, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, if your saving throw has the proficiency in it, you could just make a saving throw.
Yeah.
It's essentially the same thing.
Oh, yeah, I'll just make a saving throw and add my proficiency. Good call. So
13.
13 plus
You're not-
3. 16.
16. Okay. You're not sure, to be honest, if you're helping. You feel like you are a little bit. You don't know if it'll cut off a significant amount of time. You're probably still looking at an overnight stay, but you might be getting there earlier the next day than, especially if you were to do this again.
All right, I'll do it 3 more times.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
3 more checks.
Oh, yep, good call.
Yep. The bird noises are
plus
just,
3 more.
by the way, the bird noises you're hearing, that's Duchess, just kind of over the side, just kind of squawking. She's not very comfortable here.
Oh, you want me to make a saving throw for her?
Actually, yeah,
Oh,
let's
Duchess.
do it. I don't think Duchess has ever been on a boat.
Her con is +1. Okay.
I just imagine Duchess like off the side of the boat.
Oh, 17?
She's doing okay. She just seems more. She doesn't seem physically ill. She just seems kind of panicked, a little frightened of the situation.
Can I do calm emotions for the chicken?
Absolutely. Give me a saving throw for that. Oh.
Bird dip.
Oh my god. While you're rolling the saving throw, we've got was that the wisdom 17, or do I need to add anything to that? Is that a 20?
Yeah, plus 3 to all of them, so 20, 14, and 15.
Okay. Are you proficient in your wisdom saving throws? No?
No.
Oh,
unfortunately
okay.
not.
Okay. Yeah.
Really?
With that, you do feel like you've made some progress, and you can start to see it over the course of the rest of the afternoon. You definitely won't. You're thinking at this point, you might be able to make it there in the middle of the night, but you would have to push, and it would end up being a level of exhaustion. But you can do it if you want to. Or you think if you did take a night on the seas, you could get there first thing in the morning instead of most of the day. So yeah, with the 20, and especially with some of those other rolls, most of them were 15 or higher, you've shaved off a significant amount of time.
No, I won't get greedy. I'll just take my success there.
Okay. So do with that information as you wish.
Nozak has one thing
Okay.
that I want to talk to Izzy about. When we were back on the shore in the room with Squall, and we were trying to figure out what to do with Sarah and stuff like that, would it be possible maybe, because Hikael is still, as far as I know, running experiments with Grunthor, or like still has a good standing with Grunthor, right? And then obviously you two are twins, and we're trying to figure out how to get Grunthor over to Sarah. Would it be a weird idea to let him know beforehand, you take Grunthor? Because obviously you two are going to raise the least suspicion, if, aside from everybody, of course. If you two maybe went to Alexandria through a portal to pick up Sarah, and we all meet in the next place, would that be a thing, or?
Hold on. I gotta look at the map. Hold on. The pinned
And like
Hey,
either
it's lit.
we
Okay.
wait for you guys to come back to Barlam, or if we met in the next area
Well,
we went to, or
so that would be Feymark, correct?
is that where we're going next?
Well, we have to get the it's either going to be Feymarch or Thanolin, one of the two.
Yeah.
Sorry, I completely discounted the fire crystal. But regardless, they need a safe place to stay for now because it's not only Queen Sarah. Oh, got out of character there. It's not only Queen Sarah, it's also the children and her mother who needs to heal.
Yeah.
Me personally, I think it would be best for us to just take some time off. To just take some time off because we also wish to deal with the problem in Cornelia before we do anything else with the crystals. Grunthor was very apparent on, which I don't mind, but the problem is we can't travel with all of these people to do so.
Yeah.
I think it'll take a while, a long while, honestly. But if we can, I would recommend either taking them to Thanolin or Norvalin. I hope I'm pronouncing these right.
Yeah, so those are the regions. Yeah, so Thanolin is the region up to the northeast.
Dealing with whatever. I think they're called the demons. They're not called the demons. The betrayers.
Call them whatever you want.
Dealing with whatever betrayers in that area, and then I think we should go to Cornelia after the fact, because my brother can teleport us to Cornelia without having to wait a week before we do our next mission. Or maybe the crystal will take a week. Regardless, I was told Squall told us that the Empire so far is not worried about either one of those kingdoms yet.
Yeah.
However,
and they've already got a foothold in Ravenasta, so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. However, the problem also comes once we get rid of this betrayer who apparently they're working with. Eyes are going to be on us. So who's to say they won't get an Empire presence to look into the crystal? That could also put Queen Sarah in danger.
Yeah. Okay.
From what you're saying, I'm thinking Feymarch might be the best place, if not Balbum.
Yeah, sounds like it. And Feymarch is closer to Alexandria as well, so that would make the most sense.
Are you having this conversation in, like, trying to be secret
character.
about it, or are you just kind of having this conversation?
I'm going to be honest, I don't think they're trying to be secret. I think they are just talking about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest.
Blake, at the mention of Feymarch, that does kind of pique you. You know, like, oh, wait a minute. Now we're talking about something from where I'm from. So,
however,
do it that way you will.
That doesn't even take into. Oh, we need to speak as a team after this. But my vote, if you bring it up to Grunthor, because it's his decision at the end of the day, my vote is going to be for Feymarch if he needs help making that decision.
Yeah.
However, he may also wish to have her in Balum where we have people we can actually trust, rather than an inn in Feymarch.
Yeah.
She should absolutely be in Balum. Sorry to interrupt on your conversation, but don't forget, I was a figurative champion for Cornelia far before Grunthor even knew that Cornelia was there.
Yeah. I suppose it would
Sarah
be
should
nice
be in
actually
Balum.
making sure that the kids are in a place.
If you guys want, what we could do is we could go to Alexandria. We could travel there, and then we can just have my brother. We can just use the portal to just go back to Balum. It's a bit of a workaround, but regardless, our next step is either going. Regardless which plan we choose, it's either going to be we do a crystal and then we go to Cornelia, or we go to Cornelia and then we do a crystal. And it seems like most of you wish to do the latter.
I'm gonna just be honest. I don't. I don't know if it's just been that I've been around for a long time, but just you can rebuild a city. You can't rebuild people. So, like, as heartless as it sounds, I get it, but I don't really care at the moment for Cornelia. Like, we can rebuild
We're not
the
going there for
city.
the city. We're going there for the orphans and for Morrow, who are hiding in the wind shrine. We're
Yeah,
hiding there to make
and
sure
I
they have a
get
place
that.
they can live at. We're not going to Cornelia to save the town. Fuck the town.
No, I know. Yeah, exactly. Let it burn for all I care, but we need to keep the most important people safe, and yeah, that makes the most amount of sense.
I think we should at least check out the conditions before or after we check in on the people to see if us getting rid of the crystal actually did anything.
Yeah.
I
Alright,
can do
we'll
that.
deal with the crystal first, and
I
then
can possibly do that myself. I've been working on a few things. Actually, as he says that, you see he's actually been using his knife to like cut up what looks like some sort of root into like ribbons. And he says, I found these while I was exploring the town this morning when I woke up. The nice man in the garden was very eager to let me have them.
Oh.
Yeah. These are going to help with a new spell that I think will help Ava specifically.
Oh, great.
Gotta love that.
Does it have to do with teleporting?
No, unfortunately,
Okay.
I've been
He's making you anti-inflammatory medicine.
I've been trying to learn those skills, but it's really difficult to move time and space.
Oh, that's okay. I don't. I'm
right.
the last person you should practice with teleporting anyway.
Now, for this next part of the conversation, we need to invite the other two. I think we need to have a group meeting because I found out some very interesting information that may help us with a backup plan just in case the crystals are destroyed.
All right, well, it's easier if we all go to Grunthor because he's kind of doing the wheel shit.
All right. I don't think he's noticed that Blake is listening in, so he'll just call. He'll be like, Blake, we need to have a quick meeting about some information I found.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start making donuts in the ocean. No, I was kidding.
You're like, oh,
Okay.
Ava bought us some time. So you're just gonna like use up all that time again, just dicking around.
Okay, real quick.
It's been
Above table, I do need to go because it is 1:30. We've got a lot of shit to do today.
Okay.
So I will watch the episode and find out what happens next time.
Okay.
But yeah. Thank you.
It won't. We're
Goodbye.
around that time anyway. So yeah, watch out, and we'll just assume that you're there for this last part of the conversation.
All right, cool. Just insert like a fuck or a cunt or something in here. Where...
Anything Australian?
If you find anything interesting about the Shipuation that we are in, let me know.
Okay.
The Shipuation.
Hey! Inspiration on your way out the door.
Yes, I got my joke in. Alright, cool. See you guys later.
Have a good one.
Can
honestly,
that please be the episode title? The Shipuation.
Yes.
Honestly,
I will do that.
honestly, I'll say it's kind of shellfish for him to leave on a pun.
Oh, come on.
Now you're just
welcome.
fishing for.
All right. Yeah, now you're.
Oh, no.
Oh!
Oh, no.
All right, Ava, what you got?
You had to cast the line deep for that one.
You've already got inspiration. You stop it.
Shit. I don't have anything. Oh, God.
Well, everybody but you, Ava.
Wail away. There, got it for him.
All right.
Can I give the double pun to Ava?
Nope. Pun inspiration cannot be given around. You have to earn the pun inspiration. Going into the temple is a good time to have inspiration, so be thinking of those puns, Ava. You're the only one now. Everybody else, inspiration across the board here.
Yeah. So
That's my favorite homebrew rule, by the way.
Is a bit interesting to say the least. I found an old journal entry from some sort of, I'm assuming, wizard of some type, caster, researcher, who found out that apparently the ley lines, he was specifically on the search for the Mother Crystal. And from his theories, he believes that the Mother Crystal is corporeal. It's not just an idea or like a past thing that created all of life. He believes it's an actual tangible thing, which, given what we know about the current crystals, makes complete sense. But he's noticed that there were some odd readings near Ishgard in the north when it came to the magical ley lines there that don't make sense for some reason. Now if I remember correctly, Ishgard is very cut off from the rest of us due to its location. But if I come as an emissary of Mysidia, I may be able to get someone in power to help us out. Maybe a grand wizard of some
Give me a quick
sort.
history check.
Ooh, with a +10? Don't mind
Go
if I
for
do.
it.
Nice, that's a 28.
Okay. Ishgard, yes, is cut off primarily because of its location geographically. It is very far north. It's very tough conditions up there. But they also have taken, especially early on in the rise of the Empire, a complete isolationist approach. Now, that's not to say that they haven't let people in their borders, but they are very selective. They have a screening process. They kind of took a stance of neutrality and said, peace out. But, as you're kind of going along with what you said, based on your status, position, connections you have in Mysidia, you do think that maybe you could swing something, but it's not going to be as easy as just rolling up.
If I'm able to not only pass myself off as the Archmage's son, they don't know that that my father has essentially cut me out of his life. So I can make up whatever I want. If I claim to be not only the DM, is it canon who's older, me or
I have
Kiki?
decided it's him, because I think I've called you little brother a couple times.
Okay, cool.
So minutes, of course, but I think he is the older.
If I come to them as his second-born son doing research for the college that his mother teaches at, I think that may be able to get us an in, and you all could act as, Blake, you could act as one of my attendants who's working with me, while you other two could act as my bodyguards.
All right, so yeah, that's pretty. What about Nozak?
Nozak.
Who
Well,
wears
Nozak.
Empire shit?
Well, not
Nozak's
anymore.
asleep.
Well, not anymore. He's chosen to change that. But if we put him in as also maybe an engineer of some sort who's working with us, that could help. And if they ask, I could say I'm doing research on the Mother Crystal because of the sudden lack of winds lately, and we're worried for our kingdom.
And since we're speaking of Nozak, fucking crikey there.
It's a long shot, and it might not. Yes, it's a long shot, and it may not even work. But I think it's better than nothing. But as I said before, the Mother Crystal doesn't take priority right now. We have too much to focus on currently.
How of those ley lines were our crystals?
Pardon me?
Those ley lines that the wizard dude picked up that you said is some sort of crystal energy. What are the odds that you think it's from our crystals?
Well, he specifically stated that it was that they were odd somehow.
So you would know too, Izzy, that in modern literature, when they're referring to ley lines, they are referring to basically the net of power that each of the crystals casts across the continent. So the term ley line kind of inherently, at least in modern literature, is speaking of the power network of the crystals.
Okay.
So you would know that as your research background.
He specifically said they were reading oddly, though. I don't think he would have mentioned that if it was just some regular crystal business. Like I said, it's a long shot. We could get there, and it could have just been an anomaly where nothing happened, which is why I'm willing to put this on the back burner. But I think we should at least have some sort of plan for if we plan on infiltrating one of the most cut-off kingdoms in Fantasia.
Mm-hmm.
Would Ishgard have any ties to Nor Valley or the Norvalian Woods, DM?
Ishgard themselves, no. They've been cut off for so long. They're far away, and their climates are so different. I don't think they really have much to do. If anything, they would maybe have some ties to the capital kingdom of Sandoria, but nothing in the region that you're from.
All right, not even the dwarves.
Not that you're aware of. No.
And Izzy is just gonna fill Grunthor in on their thoughts about Queen Sarah coming to Balam, etc. Them going together, then teleporting to Wisteria, then just teleporting back to Balam, and then going to Cornelia to check in on everyone.
Okay.
That sounds like a good plan.
Actually, how far is Alexandria from Balam?
It's quite a distance. If you're looking at the map, I mean, it's pretty much the length of the continent from north to south, almost. So it's a distance.
And we would be going through Empire territory, so
you could technically go around, but it would take longer. And even then, you're getting into territory that is Empire friendly.
Unfortunately, we can't teleport, so I feel that's our best option. I mean, I could ask Master Matoya to do it, but I can already guess how that conversation would go. I think it sucks to take a week off of our plan, but I think to ensure not only Cornelia's safety, but Sarah's safety, I think it's the best option we have currently. But I didn't mean to bring down the mood. I bought something while I was in Balam, and you see he just rummages through his bag, and he pulls out what looks like a brown paper bag, and you just see he opens it up, and you just see a bunch of... he just sees a bunch of... It's just a bunch of crushed bread. He's like, oh, jeez. I'm sorry. I tried to be nice, but I don't think it worked out. I wasn't paying attention.
I'll take my flask, open it, take a swig, and offer it to everyone else.
So, what was the decision with the state of your travels? Are you going to spend the night on the boat and get there first thing in the morning, or are you going to push through risking the exhaustion?
Oh, I recommend spending the night on the boat.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay.
We could just take shifts, and whoever is keeping an eye out can drive the ship. Oh, wait, actually, we have Ava here.
Do we have an anchor?
You don't really need one if you're going to just float around with the way the ship works. There is an anchor to keep it docked if you want to. But from what you've noticed, Grunthor, it has, even when it's off, it kind of stabilizes. It floats around a little bit, but because you'll notice that when you pulled out, it wasn't actually tied to the dock. So it does kind of compensate to try to keep at least the same general area as though it were anchored. Because it's magic and you can do whatever you want. And that sounded cool to me. So there is one as a failsafe if you'd like it.
I'm trying to recall if there is a way that you can, like, skip sleep, if there's a spell to do that, and if anyone had that.
I don't know off the top of my head, but I also don't think you'd have it at this level. Something like that's probably a higher level
I think
spell. But
we should prioritize making sure Ava gets sleep so he can at least drive while someone else takes watch each time we... You know what I mean.
Well, I just read this thing that says apparently with a 20 constitution, I have a 15% risk of getting a level of exhaustion if I push through.
Okay.
15%. But
I mean, if you want to risk it, I will not tell you what to do with your character.
Because I think if everyone gets their rest and I continue driving, or well, sailing the boat to our destination and then park up, either I could take a little bit of a rest at that point when, like, Ava is done with his, and then I catch up on some sleep.
Okay.
That's not going to end up saving us time then, because we have to wait for you to sleep anyways.
Well, I mean, the
Is that what you guys-
4 hours that you would not need.
Oh, gotcha.
Like if I push through and then park there, then you get up and then I go to sleep for, let's say, just 4 hours. That might help.
Is that what you guys want to do?
I'll leave it up to Grunther since he's risking the exhaustion.
I just think that we want to try and get all this done as quickly as possible. Time is
No,
the
I
essence.
understand. I'm mostly just worried about if a fight breaks out.
Or when it
But
does.
at the end of the day, if you... Oh, wait! Blake. Can Blake heal exhaustion?
I don't.
Revivify or something like that?
No,
And
Revivify.
greater restoration might.
Hold up. We're going to Google this.
I think
Yeah.
Revivify
Yes,
just
we're gonna-
brings you back from the dead. You could kill them and then
Yeah.
bring them back. I mean, that would technically cure the exhaustion.
Damn. Okay, so exhaustion, I believe, is greater restoration because lesser doesn't do it.
Yeah.
That's a big spell.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm about to say, I'm with you 100% with whatever decision you make. I think that it is worth the risk.
Okay. So what's the plan?
What do you guys think?
I think if Grunther wants to risk the exhaustion, he should go for it.
Going for 24 hours without sleep will cause you to make a DC 10 con save or gain a level of exhaustion.
So this
I think
Oh,
I can.
no.
this will be
push that.
adjusted a little bit because you're doing something that you're not used to doing. Constant
Fair.
focus. I mean, it's not just not sleeping. You're actually trying to steer and with the dark looking out. So it will affect that. But what I'll say is, if you do try to get just 4 hours sleep, we'll roll it and then we'll see what happens. If that's what you want to do. If that's the plan.
Yeah. Let's do it.
So at this point, it is.
I mean, I have a kind of like we need to get going. We need to get going. I need to get to Queen Sarah. So that's kind of like what I'm thinking for that Grunther is
Yeah.
kind of at.
Yeah, I think it makes
down.
sense character too. At this point, night has fallen. So who is going to sleep here then? Everybody but Grunthor except Ava. I'm assuming you're going to do your 4 hour thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Never mind.
Duchess is sleeping.
yeah, Duchess kind of went to bed way earlier than normal. As she laid down, you could see her breathing was like really fast and rapid. I don't know if you've ever had like a panicked dog that's like, but she's just slowly started to come back down as she drifted off to
And-
sleep.
Can Blake like curl up next to her
Calm
and just
emotions.
have a hand on her and be like the white glow is kind of going like like
That-
not like the full spell, but just kind of
Sure. Your presence
little-
is calming to her as well. And Grunther, you kind of notice this out of the corner of your eye, and it brings a little bit of a smile to your face. As she just kind of comforts Duchess, and eventually Duchess kind of looks around, sees Blake, and then tries to look and make sure that she finds you. And then once she kind of sees that you're there, she allows herself finally to relax. And pretty soon
Once I
she drifts
noticed,
off.
once I noticed them both kind of sleeping, I'm gonna stride over really quick, take off my heavy cloak, and put it over both of them, and then go back to the
Yeah.
wheel.
Okay.
Love that for
Perfect.
them.
So, as the rest of your team beds down to get a little bit of sleep, you push through. Give me a perception check. It's disadvantage because it's dark at this point. You can still see where you're going. The lights of the tower itself has a glow, so you don't really lose. Is that disadvantage? Okay. That was a 19.
I rolled a
and
19
20,
and then a
right?
20.
Okay, I
Not
saw a
bad.
natural 20. I was like, there's no way you got two 20s. Okay, 19 and 20. Okay, 25. Okay, there's no problem seeing where you're going. The tower itself kind of glows this almost eerie blue that kind of lights up the horizon, but faintly. It's almost kind of ghostly. It's not like blindingly. But otherwise, just all around you is darkness. You can hear the deep breathing of, those around you. Ava's unnaturally still and quiet as they just kind of sit there in their meditative state. And then you hear, I imagine that Nozak snores. I feel like we've made that canon before.
Yep.
But with
Can it be like Duchess and Blake, and then Nozak just
just, like flailed out.
yeah,
I imagine.
I'm totally picturing like
just like the
Three
toddler,
Stooges.
like
Ooh, beep, 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 beep. Ooh, beep, 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 beep.
However, you do hear just like something scratching on wood, very faint,
God damn it.
and then even almost imperceptible. But with the stillness here, even with you just kind of almost nodding off, you hear like this kind of wet, like a thump in the darkness behind you.
Oh shoot! All right, I'm going to push the stop and turn around with my hand on my sword.
Give me another perception check. I'll let this be a straight roll now because it's not just sight based. You're also listening, so this one can be straight.
Rolled another 19.
I'm banning those dice. I need new dice too because I rolled a 2. You definitely hear something. It's kind of moving around towards the side, the starboard side of the boat. Just this. It sounds like some wet footsteps. Something obviously
Oh God.
attempting to be stealthy. But you are tuned in and you have a very general idea. Squinting off with a little bit of light kind of reflecting from the tower, you can see this faint humanoid-looking outline that's just kind of standing there. And it stops,
About how far?
notices you looking at it, and just kind of freezes.
I'm going to begin drawing my sword, like have it out now, show about 3 inches of steel, and like, who are you?
There's no response, just some kind of a weird noise. From behind you, you hear another.
Another one?
Sounds like coming
Another
from behind
one.
you.
Okay.
Nothing's
going
attacking you yet. They're just kind of staring at you. Whatever they
Can
are.
I see the other one a little better?
Do you want to look behind you?
Yeah, I'm going to like do that.
Can
Kind
you-
of like
Give me a perception check.
a 12, so 18.
18. As you turn around, you do see kind of coming up behind you. This one's a little bit closer. Seems like it had gotten closer while you were focused on the other one. But it's still hard to make out the details. It looks to be almost your height. Not something you've seen necessarily before. It's not what you were really expecting. So it's not like a Sahuagin. You can kind of make that out. You do see, it looks like it's got maybe something kind of coming out of its chin or its side of its face or something like that. Some kind of elongated whisker or something. It's hard to tell in the darkness.
And I'm going to call out, like a bellow so that it also wakes up
Give
the
me
guys.
Give me a dexterity check.
I am going to inspiration that.
Okay. Is that a natural 20? Okay. As you are focusing on the one, as you turned around, the second you turned around, the other one started charging you. And you, as you go to scream, you feel its hand come around, and it's getting ready to smack its hand over your mouth. But your instincts are just right on point as it reaches up, and you just kind of grab it and stop it right there. Now that you've kind of grabbed it, you have a humanoid hand, but its skin is kind of this pale blue almost, and it's got, as you're kind of just glancing at its arm, it's got just seaweed kind of wrapped around its wrists like bracers. Kind of looking over your shoulder, you see what looks to be a humanoid face of a bald man, but coming out from the side are these two long, they look like tendrils of some kind, just kind of coming out of their chin and kind of dangling down as it looks surprised at you as you're holding its hand. And then as it's doing that, you hear the other one start to rapidly approach.
Okay. I yell out.
Everybody, just this will determine what happens next. Give me a perception check.
You know what?
Just to see how quickly that might pierce your sleep over the sound of the waves and all that.
I can't be surprised, right?
Your mace, that is true. You cannot be surprised. And you're not in this case, because Grunther noticed them anyway, so. 21, 18. We're doing good so far.
Oh, wow. We did fantastic.
What was the other one? 24. Immediately, the bellow wakes everyone up. You all can give me a perception check disadvantage.
I have 300 feet of dark vision. Do I still have disadvantage?
You just see this, then. There are these two creatures that are on top of Grunther at this point.
Nice, Izzy.
7 and 21. Blake, you would see this. The two creatures have rushed Grunther, and he's holding one of their hand as it looks like he was trying to come around his face. The other one is coming at him as Grunther's kind of put a hand out to try to block him. But he's definitely at this point flanked by these two. You can see, you got 300 feet of dark vision, right? Yeah. With that, let me just go ahead. I will just put the picture. Oh, man. I'll just drop the token in here. Give me just a second to give us a visual. What we've got, because I did make a token. There are two of these guys that are standing next to Grunther.
Oh, that's small. Okay.
No.
It's so needle.
It's not. It's the same size as you all. And then I will zoom in just to show it on the thing. But they definitely are humanoid looking. And like I said, they have these tendrils. I'll send the full picture once we're done here, just so you can see the full body thing. But also, it seems like coming out of their backs, they almost have what looks like spider arms that kind of come down and wrap around. They seem to be dressed in some kind of heraldry, as though they are a priest or a religious leader of some kind. They have not done anything yet. What are you all doing? Right now, they're kind of struggling with Grunther, and he seems to be holding them up.
I'm assuming I don't see anything.
You don't see shit, no.
Perfect. You guys see an incredibly bright flash just shoot up in the air as he throws up his pillars of wood, and he calls out a magical word. The sigils glow, and he's going to cast Dancing Lights.
Okay. Once that happens, the entire deck of the ship gets illuminated. There are just two. So there were just the two that were kind of on Grunther. There is a struggle going on there. What are you doing?
I'd say y'all go ahead since I already did some.
At this point, the one is backing away, though. Now that the lights are, and the other one is trying to get his hand away from Grunther.
I'm going to call out and say, "Are you here on behalf of Leviathan?"
Kind of cocks its head at you. We're here to deliver a warning. Turn around, and you may live to see another day. The one with Grunther's still struggling. The other one has taken another step back. We bring you a message. And with that, his eyes kind of roll back in the back of his head, and his mouth opens. And without his mouth moving, this other voice comes out of it, a deeper voice that kind of booms across the deck. The crystal belongs to me. Turn around if you want your bones inside your body. That's where we're going to end tonight's session, right there. You all can decide what you're going to do after that.
All right.
I think we're going to have some fish stew.
I mean, we could also just let them leave. I'm going to be honest. I'd rather get some sleep first.
So yes, you wouldn't have gotten a long rest completed. It got interrupted. So Ava, whatever spells you had spent or abilities you had spent, those would still be gone unless they came back with a short rest.
Yeah, we had a short rest before this though, because we had a long rest though, right?
Right, but whatever you were doing with the boat, because you said
with the key.
Yeah, so whatever you were doing there. Now, key points I think come back at a short rest, so you're probably okay. Just double check that.
Yeah,
that's where we'll end. We'll see what you guys want to do when you pick up next week. So at this point, I will say, Grunthor, because you're pushing through, you can see that you are very close to the crystal. I mean, your plan to get there is going to work, and you're drawing close, and it seems to have brought these out. So,
cool.
Well, with that, thank you all again for watching. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Thank everybody for playing, except Nozak for leaving early. The jerk. Just kidding.
How dare you have responsibilities?
Well, yeah, he's the only one that plays in the middle of the day. Appreciate you. Nozak. I'm just joking. Anyway, we will see you next week where we decide what's going to happen and then delve into the depths of the Sunken Temple. And I'm very excited. This will be our first real dungeon crawl in a little while since we've had a lot of combat, we've had a lot of RP, but we haven't really had a dungeon. Blake hasn't done it at all yet because the wind.
Yeah. No, and next week is going to be like super special.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna
it's my
say
birthday.
Oh! Yay! Happy birthday.
So I can't kill Blake next week. Got it.
Oh darn.
No, please don't.
But yes, so yeah.
There's a reason why I wore this shirt because I thought we were going into the dungeon, so this will apply next week.
Yep, save the cleric.
Yeah, watch it so we have it for next week.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, they could, depending on what they do, but based on the conversations and there was a really nice in-party RP. I always love episodes like that, so I was like, all right, I don't think we're going to be getting there tonight, but I do think we will next time, and I'm excited. Nice dungeon crawl. The first one was a little bit shorter because it was the introductory dungeon, and then we kind of just got thrust into all of this really political stuff, different cities. It'll be fun to get back in a dungeon and just try to kill you guys again with stuff like that. So,
and don't think that I didn't realize that you originally had the sewer as a dungeon, and they kind of skedaddled.
Well, there's that. There is that. I did make the sewer as a dungeon. I had rooms. I had stuff in there, and then they were like, let's go. And I'm like, okay. No one's going to see my pretty maps.
Nope.
Whatever. But, I just provide the dish. You choose what to eat. They didn't want to do that dungeon. That was fine with me. We just got out of there a little faster. This one you may have to go through if you want to actually get to the crystal, though. So, in your face. All right. Apologize for the a little bit extra bad language tonight. I had to do Sid justice, and I don't know how to do expletive bleeps, so I had to because he's a potty mouth, and it was fun.
Oh man, we could have had that like on the soundboard.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you could have clacked every time.
Oh my God. Hindsight's 2020 on that one. Anyway, with that, lally ho, friends, we will see you next week. Thank you again for tuning in with us, and we'll see what happens. Bye.
Bye.